Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, colleagues. Nice to see such a full room. Welcome to this briefing by the COP29 presidency on Harmonia for Climate Resilience. My name is Kaveh Zahidi. I'm the Director of the Office of Climate Change, Biodiversity and Environment at FAO. And it's my pleasure just to moderate the event today. I think what we hope to get out of the next 40 or so, 50 minutes is be introduced to the COP29 presidency and its mission, especially its mission in terms of empowering farmers, villages and rural communities, and then to get feedback and to hear from all of you gathered here to provide a consultative space, to hear back from you as to what you would hope and like to see coming out of this new and exciting initiative of the presidency. I believe it's the first one that's being presented, so it's an exciting day. Given the shortage of time, let me immediately turn to the chief negotiator, the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Yalchin Rafiev, for your opening remarks and to frame really the conversation of today. Over to you.
Thank you so much, and I also welcome you all at the first side event that the incoming presidency of COP29 is organizing in the course of the Bonn session. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we gather here today, we find ourselves at a critical juncture in the global fight against climate change. The urgency of our mission cannot be overstated. Climate change poses severe threats to food and water security, impacting livelihoods and undermining the very foundation of our communities. Our task is to move beyond dialogue and deliver concrete solutions that bring about real change on the ground. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, has sounded a clear alarm. We face unprecedented risks that demand swift and decisive action. At the heart of our efforts lies agriculture, a sector uniquely positioned to drive climate resilience. Sustainable agricultural practices are not just beneficial, they are essential. They enable us to adapt to changing conditions, build resilience, mitigate emissions, and ensure food security. The Coronilia joint work on agriculture has already highlighted agriculture's vital role in combating climate change. Today, 95% of the national determined contributions include agriculture, underscoring its importance in achieving our sustainable development goals. This momentum must be translated into concrete actions that benefit farmers and communities worldwide. Agriculture presents a unique opportunity to address multiple challenges to climate change. It offers wide-ranging solutions for climate change adaptation, mitigation, enhancing resilience, ensuring food security, while also combating land degradation and water scarcity. We are proud to look at more than 90 relevant global or regional initiatives, coalitions, networks, alliances, and partnerships focused on policy, capacity building, or access to finance related to activities at the nexus of agriculture and climate change. The Presidency extends its thanks and appreciation to all these initiatives. It is in this context that I am proud to introduce the Harmonia initiative launched under the COP29 presidency. Harmonia is designed to address the complexities of the agricultural initiatives landscape by fostering collaboration and coherence, thus amplifying our impact and driving transformation in agri-food systems. This initiative aims to create an environment that turns global discussions into tangible actions on the ground. Harmonia focuses on three critical areas to achieve this transformation. Firstly, we must harmonize various agricultural initiatives to bring about concrete solutions. Agri-food systems are inherently complex, involving numerous interconnected components. By fostering better coherence, alignment, and synergies, Harmonia aims to streamline efforts and maximize the impact of these initiatives. Our goal is to see tangible results that improve lives and livelihoods. Secondly, we must enhance climate finance. As Simon Steele, the UNFCCC Executive Secretary, mentioned yesterday morning at the speech opening, climate finance is a key enabler of climate change action. Inclusive agri-food system transformation hinges on robust financial support. By engaging key financial actors such as multilateral development banks and agricultural public development banks, Harmonia aims to attract climate finance investments to where they are most needed. Lastly, and most importantly, we must place farmers at the center of our efforts. Their involvement is crucial for building climate-resilient villages and communities. We must too recognize the role of women farmers and young farmers. Women make up 60 to 80% of smallholder farmers in Africa and are responsible for 90% of food produced, as well as indigenous people and local communities. Indigenous food systems with links to indigenous knowledge passed down over generations can provide innovative approach to resource management and protecting biodiversity that we can all benefit from. Harmonia focuses on empowering these groups, recognizing their potential to foster meaningful change within their communities. In line with the 2026 International Year of the Woman Farmer, we aim to elevate their voices and address their specific needs. To support these goals, Harmonia will serve as an aggregator, bringing together various initiatives, coalitions, networks, and partnerships. Our objective is to share experiences, identify synergies, and foster collaborative efforts focused on agriculture, food, and water nexus. By aligning with the international scientific agenda and focusing on evidence-based knowledge, Harmonia will create an enabling environment for the implementation of transformative actions in agri-food systems. The time for action is now. With only 6 years left until 2030, the urgency to address climate change is escalating. We must step up adaptation efforts and maximize mitigation co-benefits. Agriculture offers a unique opportunity to address multiple challenges simultaneously, providing wide-ranging solutions for climate change adaptation, mitigation, and resilience. Together, through the Harmonia initiative, we can build climate-resilient villages and communities. By harmonizing initiatives, mobilizing climate finance, and empowering farmers, we will ensure sustainable transformation and create a resilient future for all. Let us seize this moment and turn our shared vision into reality. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rafiev. I think it's music to all of our ears, all of those, this community that sort of gathered today to hear you speaking about agriculture and food systems as potential solution providers. For so long, we haven't heard that sort of that tone around agriculture and food systems, and the importance of course, making sure that goes all the way from the coordination of the global initiatives into the finance, which has been such a stumbling block, but finally into delivering at the level that it matters with the farmers. So thank you so much for framing the conversation of this afternoon and for launching the COP29 initiative. Next week we were going to go to our colleagues in the UNFCCC Secretariat, but they haven't quite managed to make it. There's so many things going on. So I'm going to skip and then come back to the UNFCCC Secretariat colleagues to really sort of lodge us within that landscape. So first, Martial, if you're ready, if I could come to you for a quick overview of the initiative itself and the pillars that Mr. Rafiev just spoke to, and then leaving, of course, enough time to then really be in listening mode. Over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Kaveh. I will try to be brief, and I will be brief. So if you... The mic is? Closer to the mic, okay. So I will try to be brief. So Excellencies, delegate and friend of agriculture and food security, it's happy to see a full room. And I will navigate in 7 slides really briefly. You should have also received a concept note of 4 pages. If not, just reach out to us and we will share that. So basically, just to remind some unfortunate key messages, I will start with a good one, that agriculture is an important sector recognized in NDCs. Here you have a number that has been published last year. We are updating this. It will be released at COP29. A new update where agriculture stands in the NDCs, and basically at least 95%, I'm quite sure we will see more of NDCs include adaptation and mitigation in agricultural sectors with us. But, and this is a big but, farmers are not receiving enough attention on while being the first impacted by climate change. And here you have just two publications on quotes from those publications. So it's not a quote from us, it's quote extracted from those publications. One on disaster on agriculture, on food security, on one analysis FAO is doing on climate-related development finance to a food system that show that the trend is diminishing. So basically, on one hand, we recognize the importance, on the other hand, farmers are not well receiving enough attention. In the same time, the collective momentum is here. If you look the positive point of that, that you have more and more initiative, coalition network, interested working with the nexus of agriculture on climate change, on access to finance. So this is an initial mapping done by another partnership, FAST for Food and Agriculture for Sustainable Transformation, hosted by FAO. And if you look at brief initial mapping on the 90 initiative coalition map, you have 43 in the last 3 years. So it shows a growing interest, but it shows also that we need perhaps to have more coordination among those different initiative coalition networks to ensure that we are really responding to the demand and eventually filling gaps. So that's why the COP29 presidency said that initiative on, with a full name, Harmonia for Climate Resilience, with a focus on empowering farmers, villages, and rural communities. So there is a real need to move also from the implementation level. That is something also that we heard a lot this morning in the initial first discussion of the negotiator on the carbon agriculture track. So the initiative will be shaped under three. So it's proposed to be shaped under three different pillars. The first one will be on harmonization, and this is really to respond to that growing curve. We need to clarify the landscape of different agricultural initiatives and create a space for exchange and collaboration. So COP29 will be the perfect momentum to do that, to harmonize and to work and to see basically all we have and the progress made so far. On the second pillar, it's working to the investment side and focusing to encourage investment to a food system, but with a clear idea here to build a strong collaboration with multilateral development banks on the banks that are action on the ground, locally, nationally, so all the agricultural public development banks. So there is a coalition, PDB, Agricultural Public Development Bank, that stand ready to engage with MDBs, and most MDBs contacted showed interest also to see how to work more closely with Agricultural National Development. But then, on not the least, but the most important, how we ensure that communities are climate resilient, how we ensure that support provided by different initiatives, supported financially by different MDBs and IFI, International Finance Institution, and the PDBs, reach out to the most vulnerable, so the farmers, villages, rural communities, and with a dedicated focus on the rural women and young farmers in adaptation effort. So this is basically here you have the three pillars. I will end it here. Just to add also that the third pillar, it's also can be seen as a preparation to the UN Year for Women that will be in 2026. So basically it's also an occasion here to that initiative can bring a lot of success stories and to show to the world all the importance of women farmers are in that process on girls also, that are the future generation, the girls and boys in those processes that are utmost important. So I was very brief, if you always agree to support the co-presidency, happy to answer any question. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Martial. Thank you for laying it out so clearly for us, and I think it's also helpful to have this slide as people make their let us know about their thoughts and advice and inputs on the three pillars that are emerging for the presidency's initiative. Next, I'm delighted to introduce you to Monsomi Malajane, who is the team leader at the UNFCCC Secretariat, to give us the context. Before you arrived, we had the presidency speak a little bit to this initiative. It's the first one of their presidency initiatives that is being presented for conversation with now a very large community, and you've now seen the details of the initiative. So over to you to contextualize within the process. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, and let me apologize for slightly arriving late. Several meetings, as we are all aware, and did express my thanks to the invitation from the presidency as well as FAO on this important occasion of launching this important event. For us, the Secretariat, we are always excited when we see a focus on areas that are identified by the governments or by the countries as key areas that require attention on climate change. And indeed, agriculture and food systems, or even water as well. These are the areas that whether you pick an NDC or you pick a National Adaptation Plan or any other document, national document, they are always the priority areas identified as at risk, but also areas where countries want to implement adaptation actions around them. So we find it very good that indeed the presidency is taking this very importantly. And over the past years, agriculture actually has gained more prominence in the international negotiations. Many of us here are aware and indeed follow the joint work on agriculture. We started with the Colombia joint work on agriculture, and right now we have the Sharm el-Sheikh work on agriculture, on which governments are still continuing to find ways to promote a holistic approach on how to deal with agriculture. There's a lot of discussions that are happening there. But also one thing that I want to flag that is important that has happened at COP28 was actually the adoption of the UAE Global Framework on Climate Resilience, in which we have the thematic targets. And one of them, the second target, is on agriculture, specifically on attaining climate resilient food and agriculture production and supply and distribution of food, as well as increasing sustainable and regenerative production and equitable access to adequate food and nutrition for all. The UAE for us, I think we see it, and I'm sure for the government, at least it's an important moment, because now it provides a concrete direction in terms of where the actions are going. And now having this specific target on food actually provides now a very good sense of meaning to the actions that the government, the whole community globally, we are working towards and directing the actions towards. And indeed a number of initiatives as well, in addition to the target on food, we've launched since COP26, COP27, COP28, we've seen a good number of initiatives around agriculture and food systems. That simply signifies the importance of these. So on that note, I think what now it's a question to us, and which is why this initiative is actually very important, is that we have the landscape of these important actions, the policy landscape and the policy direction is there, but then how do we make sure everything is working together? And I think that's also why we see now the relevance and the timeliness of this initiative on how do we harmonize the different initiatives together. And indeed, only through integrated climate and food action, the world would be able to achieve transform the current food systems in the way that that we want them to be. That means that creating the necessary linkages across food production, food distribution, food consumption and value chains, as well as the interconnected areas. As I mentioned, water obviously is one of them, and in the UNFCCC we have the benefit of being in one of the alliances that deals with climate resilient food systems, but also looking at water as an issue that connects closely with food. But also food obviously goes alongside with health, ecosystems, energy, and many others, depending on the country context and situations. And also a lot of the issue of engaging multiple stakeholders is key. As I did mention as well, another important aspect that we see is the mainstreaming of regenerative food production. In simple terms, all of us, we know that the way we produce food and consume food is definitely also needs a lot of transformations in order to achieve the sustainable development we want. And if we are to do that, we have to ensure that we arrive at approaches that we contribute more than we are extracting to the environment in the way we produce and consume our food. The resources are key in terms of how we arrive at that. Funding for implementation from the widest and broadest range of resources, channels and modalities of finance. And there's a wider landscape. Of course, there is the UNFCCC financial mechanism system that is in place, but also there's wider mechanisms that are available at the disposal of governments, modalities that can be applied. And how do we bring all that in terms of connecting them together? And perhaps maybe this is one of the things that through the initiative and several others, we can find ways of how we can connect the needs with the existing landscape of the support. Lastly, one point that I would want to raise is that with respect to building resilience or to adaptation, indeed the national adaptation plans, many of you will be aware of, are the main instrument, of course, for adaptation that play a critical role through which government are able to present the interconnected activities. And indeed, with learning, it's becoming more and more obvious that everything or many things are interconnected. And they provide a way in terms of how we can strengthen even the way adaptation is presented in the nationally determined contributions or in the NDCs. Once the NAPs are in place, governments have gone through an articulate process on how do you raise ambition even in the NDC and now be able to effectively achieve the global goal on adaptation. Indeed, as I said, I think more than ever now we need to find ways on how we can bring together the different competencies, the different initiatives, and all the landscape of available support to be able to scale up action. So I will end my remarks here, and again, thank you very much for this kind of invitation.
Thank you so much, Musomni. Thank you for also reminding us that while we had a slow start, we now see food and agriculture appearing in so many of the different negotiation streams. Whether it's in the stock take, the discussions on adaptation, the ones that you just mentioned, of course, NDCs, NAPs, etc., etc. In fact, some of us would contend that without getting this piece right, it's going to be hard to deliver on so many of these different streams and what they hope to get done. So thank you for that and for really setting the scene and raising the bar to some degree in expectation of what Harmonia should and must deliver. So dear friends, it's time to open up and hear from you. We have about half an hour for feedback, for your thoughts, for some additional thoughts on where this process could take us and some of the wins that maybe we could support the COP29 presidency in achieving with and through Harmonia. So allow me to open the floor. As I open the floor, please just raise your hand. I mean, it's not a formal negotiation. Just raise your hand, but please do introduce yourself so at least it's clear. I know we're a small community. We probably, most of us know each other, but still, as a courtesy, just let us know who you are. And over to you now. Can you find a microphone? Because we've got people online as well.
Okay, thank you, and thanks for the great presentation. I'm Martina Fleckenstein with WWF International, and I really appreciate that we continue the journey to focus on agriculture in the initiatives from the COP. I have one question, and this is when I'm listening to you now, it's all about agriculture and the production. Will you also consider the food system approach, which we had also in the previous COP, so to consider not only the production but also food loss and waste consumption, so the whole food chain? I think this would be very much appreciated from the community who wants to strengthen the food and agriculture sector in the climate discussion and the NDCs. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Martina. So we'll take a few and then we'll try to respond collectively, or at least reflect collectively. Yes, please.
Thank you, Francisco Busapolco from the World Farmers Organization. I just some quick reflection. First of all, thank you for bringing back the word farmers at the very head of this initiative. Last year it was a very positive COP in terms of the talk around food systems. Not as much in terms of progress in the negotiation on agriculture, and not much difference for the situation of farmers on the ground. And we, as an organization, and I think I can share this thinking with other farmers' organizations in the farmers' constituency, we think that there was always a missing link in between discussion about the change that needs to be made and the change on the ground, which is involving and empowering the farmers. A very useful point on the harmonization. Honestly, I think all of us we are unable to manage this number of initiatives popping up and having a reference in one organization that tries to bring all of them together and to serve as a sort of hub for this organization could be useful. Attractive investments, and maybe here we really need to think not only about the number of the investment, it's not only about increasing the quantity and the quality of investment, it's also making sure that the investments reach the farmers on the ground. As a farmers organization, we are always striving to make sure that we can also participate directly in these funding projects to make sure that the members, the farmers, have direct access to the funds. This, I think, should be part. And the final point, do think of farmers not as simple beneficiaries of climate action. Do think of us as partners. We want to be there from the beginning, to designing the policies, to designing the implementation, and there you will have the farmers buying in. Not if you only arrive at the end with something for the farmers to take it or leave it. So thank you for bringing us back to the center.
Thank you very much for those comments. We're in collection mood right now, so we are collecting all of this. I noticed that the session this morning must have exhausted the parties, but do feel free to take the floor as well. He's not Turkmenistan, I can guarantee you that, but over to you.
Turkmenistan's here, not here. No, thank you. James Stapleton from CGI. I mean, I'd like to reiterate what Francesco said in terms of this idea of harmonization of the initiatives that are going on. Maybe we can try and go a little bit further than harmonization, bringing some of those initiatives around the table to try and maybe streamline and divide up who's doing what. We've moved from the breakthrough agenda through to what happened last year, through to FAST, through to what happened last year, and it's becoming increasingly difficult for organizations, but also for parties to be able to engage in this. So we're really interested in that, and maybe a little bit more than harmonization, but sort of agreed action and compromise around priorities, because maybe the priorities that were agreed when the breakthrough agenda was agreed into three years ago that are not necessarily the same. The world is changing a lot. Yes, I'd just like to say that.
Thank you very much, James. Continuing to look around. let me start at this corner and then we'll move on. Ambassador, please.
Thank you so much. Well, let me start by thanking COP29 incoming presidency for their interest of taking agriculture from COP to COP and increasing the world attention on one of the important issues that it is related not only to food security but for the whole security of the world. The world cannot continue without really ensuring the food security, and what you are doing now in getting the attention, world attention for harmonizing all the initiatives that it was for and building on the current one is really appreciated. My question will go a little bit to the organizational side. When this initiative will be launched and what is your design for the Agriculture Day, the ministerial meeting, if there is any, and if there is, like you mentioned, water as well. So during this day you are intending to have agriculture and water together, and what exactly would be the theme of that meeting? If you can just shed a quick light on that. Thank you for the co-presidency for answering this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. And of course, you were a big part of getting this momentum going from the COP in Egypt, so we're very grateful to you as well. I suggest we have a few questions. Why don't we tackle one round and provide some feedback and thoughts from the COP presidency, and then we will collect some more.
Thank you very much, first of all, for your interest and inspiration to the COP29 presidency for picking up this topic as one of its action agenda initiatives. This is really one of the priority areas that when designing our action agenda we pay particular importance to, and therefore we have very usefully cooperated with the UN Food and Agriculture Organization. I would like to use this opportunity to express our gratitude to make it as comprehensive as possible and putting farmers at the center of our efforts on this specific initiative. So I will try to answer the questions one by one, and if I miss any part of your question, please remind me later. So the first question was on if we consider food systems part of this initiative. Yes, this initiative aims to look at the food systems as a whole, and there are numerous initiatives that focuses at different aspects of food production, and supply, consumption, chain will be at the focus of our initiatives. We will be definitely having to focus on this. The second was from farmers organization on our farmers organization. So farmers again will be at the center of this initiative, and one of our focus areas will be to build the capacity of the farmers, and not only in the agricultural side, but in climate finance negotiations, even on the negotiation track. What we have been hearing a lot from the parties and the non-party stakeholders is not only the availability of the funds or investment in some parts of the economy, but the most important is how accessible are these investments or funds. So one of the focuses in this regard will not be only to make investments or funds available, but to make them also accessible for the farmers so that they can get benefit from this. Then on when the initiative will be launched, on this question, Ambassador, we are preliminary, this is a launching event of the initiative just to explain the concept of it, but we will have among our thematic days for the COP in general, a food and agriculture topic to be one of the thematic days to focus on, and we will definitely have this topic to be on the spotlight of the wider climate community, to also give a platform and enable all the party and non-party stakeholders to organize their own events, to have different aspects of the topic to be highlighted further. Then, yeah, we will have a dedicated day and answer this question. If I missed anything, please remind me. We can keep going.
Marcelo, you can pick up some of these points as well, and I'll come back your way. But I think it's even if we don't answer today, I think it's good to hear as much as possible from friends and colleagues. So we've talked a lot about the farmers. Maybe I start now on this side. Would you like to start, and then we'll continue along the table. So go ahead. Sorry, if you could just borrow a microphone from one of the.
Thank you, Co-Chair. My name is Esther Penunia. I'm with the Asian Farmers Association for Sustainable Rural Development, or AFA. And first, I would just like to echo the appreciation of colleague Francesco here. We thank you very much for this presentation. We thank you very much for this initiative. Indeed, it's very encouraging and very inspiring for farmers organizations like us to hear from the COP29 presidency and the parties here about putting farmers at the center and empowering farmers. You know, AFA's tagline is empowering small-scale women and men farmers in Asia. But I was very happy to also hear, because that was my question before I raised my hand, that there will be thematic days. We hope that there will be thematic days for agriculture and food systems, and really put farmers at the speaking slots, and if possible, not only during the Ag and Food Day, if you will have it, but in many events that talk about agriculture and food systems, that you have speakers from the farmers, women, and young farmers. Second is, as you have said, climate change is really a threat right now. We feel every day the impact of climate change, really a loss of crops, really a loss of incomes. So is there a possibility, because COP29 presidency is a climate financier, you dubbed it, that after COP29 or at the closing of COP29, there could be some pledges and commitments to have financing direct to farmers' organizations and cooperatives, to empower them to be climate resilient. We need that very badly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We're going to come back to that for sure. There will be some deliverables from this initiative for sure. And we'll have the colleague at the table, and then we'll go back. Go ahead.
Hi, I am Emin Hüseynova from Azerbaijan. Unfortunately, I'm living in exile, but my question is related with...
Which group are you from?
I'm speaking on behalf of the civil society institutions, because we are focusing on issues with watchdogs, activities in Azerbaijan, and unfortunately, you mentioned about problems of farmers around the world, which is very important, and thanks for organizing such an important event. But I would like to mention and raise awareness around the problems of Azerbaijani farmers and journalists who systematically, year by year, in the very difficult and pressing conditions, write about these problems. Unfortunately, approximately more than 22 journalists who systematically wrote about farmers' problems, about problems with access to clean water, about illegally using child labor during the farming in Azerbaijan, etc., about mining explosions, how the mining companies, for example, exposed lands in the Soyudlu village in Azerbaijan, which is still in the COP host years, still under control of the police. How it's possible to raise problems of the farmers, and especially during the COP29 Azerbaijan host country status, when you put under pressure in your own country hundreds of outspoken voices and journalists who wrote about problems, about climate problems, and it's my question is also directly to representative of Azerbaijan, because I see many negotiator and chief executive officer also here. Is it possible to use COP29 to release all of these journalists, give more space for the civil society of Azerbaijan, because we believe it's a unique opportunity for Azerbaijan, and we need to use for all stakeholders on the proper manner this kind of event. Thank you for this.
No, thank you very much. Let's take one more, and then we're gonna reflect on this. Two more, please. I'm sorry. If you could.
Oh, thank you very much. Can you hear me? Thank you very much, Elena Aguayo from the World Rural Forum. We are an international organization that has among our members family farmers organizations and rural development organizations comprising 50 million of family farmers all over the world. We really welcome this initiative, and we would like to reach our hand out and tend our hand to be part of the initiative, because we are looking, as here Francesco from the World Farmers Organization and our member AFAP, we are here trying to build the awareness and raise the awareness of the importance of the recognition of family farmers in these spaces. We need family farmers in the policy-making processes. They are not only beneficiaries, but they can be part of all the processes. And a good signal for this is trying to bring funds to family farmers at the ground. We know that only the 0.3% now arrives to the grassroots, the small-scale farmers, and these kind of initiatives can be really supportive to increase and improve the funds that arrive to family farmers and small-scale producers. So thank you very much. We are here to support, and we really welcome that farmers are at the center of these discussions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. David, please.
Thank you. Part of the EU delegation, agriculture negotiator, we welcome the focus on rural communities, on women farmers and small-scale farmers. The EU has also put a focus on that over the last years. We see there's a lot of focus on adaptation and resilience also. And we would just have to question, wouldn't it be even more harmonious if we would have some climate action in there as well, that would not be only related to resilience and adaptation? The reason is because as the EU we have the point of view that whatever you do in the agriculture sector, one measure gives you many outcomes. And you certainly can't exclude that you also have some reduction of emissions or storage of carbon that come out of your activities.
Thank you, Eric. That's a good point. Of course, it also depends on the way you couch resilience. I think it's been couched in exactly in the way you mentioned, that broader sense, but well worth exploring. I have one more in the back here. That corner is very popular, Ambassador. I apologize.
It's feeling left out. Thank you very much, and can I just take this opportunity? I'm Brian Lindsay from the Global Dairy Platform and with the Bingo Group. Applaud the presidency for bringing this initiative to fruition, because in our industry, I work in the dairy industry, I talk to dairy cooperatives many times, and they say, well, I used to have teams in the field working with farmers, helping them drive change. Now I have a team in the office filling in reports daily. And I think Harmonia is a great example of how we can bring alignment and have a more structured way to report and progress. I think I'd like to also mention that we should look for the opportunity to involve the private sector in this process. We've got to remember that farmers are small to medium-sized enterprises as well. So we're in this together. We need sustainable value chains, and we have a shared ownership of the sustainability agenda. Let's remember, if a food manufacturer, a cooperative or an industry does not have a sustainable supply of raw materials, they don't have a sustainable business to get food to us, the consumer. So I just encourage you to think widely on who you engage with, because we are all in this together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. One very last short piece, please.
Yeah, thanks a lot. My name is William Sutton. I'm the global lead for climate smart agriculture at the World Bank, and I'd like to thank the Azerbaijan COP29 presidency and FAO for organizing this important initiative. Scaling up climate action in agri-food systems is badly needed. Everyone seems to agree on that. As you may know, the World Bank has just published a new flagship report, Recipe for a Livable Planet, Achieving Net Zero Emissions in the Agri-Food System. The report is the first comprehensive global roadmap for mitigating the agri-food system's contributions to climate change, and it shows that the agri-food system can cost-effectively cut greenhouse gas emissions and achieve net zero by 2050, while at the same time continuing to feed the world. For past COPs, we've worked closely with presidencies on various activities that have yielded important results. We therefore welcome the fact that the COP29 presidency puts agri-food systems at the forefront of climate action by launching this Harmonia initiative. Going forward, we hope that the Harmonia partners will take a comprehensive perspective on all of the major activities that are out there supporting climate action and agri-food systems, and we stand ready to work with the presidency and this initiative to further advance agriculture and the food agenda at COP29. Thank you.
Thank you so much. A perfect way to finish the round of reflections and inputs. Thank you for that. I'm conscious that we have about 5 minutes left, and I want to make sure that the presidency team, of course, has. You see, we're all here writing furiously and taking notes, but let me turn to you for some of your reflections.
Yeah, thank you very much again, and I'll try to answer the questions one by one and based on the order of that they have been posed. The first question was from Asian Farmers Association. Yeah, definitely, we are also quite encouraged to continue to put the farmers on the spotlight, and in terms of giving a slot for speaking, definitely COP in Baku will be one of our principles that we are upholding in having hosted COP is to ensure inclusivity. And inclusivity means that from all segments of society, from all professions, we will create an enabling environment for them to come to speak as they wish. And also on the support side, on the pledge side, for sure this is a finance book, and of course we will be trying to engage as much as possible with all stakeholders, parties and non-party stakeholders, to mobilize resources for enabling action, and especially in the climate field. And also we will try to reach out to relevant and interested multilateral development banks to develop a draft action plan and recommendations for supporting the farmers and rural communities, including blended finance with GEF and GCF, for sure. Then the next question was from Azerbaijani citizen. Thank you for this question. And again, proceeding from the principle of inclusivity, COP in Azerbaijan will definitely be as inclusive as possible, involving also civil society representatives. And of course, I'm not going to comment on the ongoing judicial processes, which will not be in line with the principles that we are upholding here, including the rule of law and the fairness. But I would like to express my disappointment that whatever we are trying to advocate here within the COP process to take politics out of the climate action process, unfortunately we have seen yet another manifestation of that today in this event. Then another question was from EU representative on emission reduction, part of the mitigation element in the agriculture sector. Probably you have seen it, Azerbaijan recently joined the methane pledge, and agriculture constitutes a significant portion of the methane emission in general statistics. And by having these commitments, definitely Azerbaijan's own agricultural sector will be having a targeted plan to do that. But at the same time, one of our action agenda initiatives is to address the methane abatement in the food waste sector. So this will be also under our spotlight within our action agenda. On small and medium enterprises, especially in the food supply chain, Azerbaijan will be definitely also come from an agricultural point of view to keep it also under constant attention. We have a specific government agency in charge of support to small and medium enterprises, including those of those having specialized in the field of agriculture. And this action agenda initiative will be also involving these government agencies, including international stakeholders, to provide relevant support mechanisms for SMEs. So thank you very much for your questions and comments.
Thank you so much to the presidency for this opportunity to have a conversation with a community that, as you can see, has a lot of passion for this topic. And thank you for framing it in a way that clearly has resonance and ownership, including with our farmers' communities that ultimately are the beneficiaries of all of this effort. I know that we're out of time. If there's anybody else in your team that would like to speak, we can take that. Jala Khanum or anybody, any words from you, or you would like to? I don't want to put you on the spot, but I will give you the opportunity if you would like. She's got the mic.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kawa, but you're still putting me on the spot, but I'm happy to be to be there, and I'm happy to be amongst the food community, food and agriculture community for 2 consecutive days. I've been participating yesterday in the food-related event. It's very important community, and we are open to listen to you all. This is the initiative at the initial stage, so we will be receiving your feedback, we're listening to you, and we'll be open while we are developing and designing this initiative in a way that it really responds to the needs of the food and agriculture community, but in general to all human beings. So thank you very much for your participation. We're working on the initiative, but with your support, we believe that we'll be able to shape it in a manner that it will have a lasting legacy for many years, even behind the group. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Alejandro. And just, I mean, the reason I put you on the spot is because it's important for everybody to know, the team here and to interact over the next few days, and to make sure that we take advantage of these 2 days together. And from our side, Marcial, myself, and the team from the FAO side, we're also responsible for supporting you in any way we can. And we are part of also an interagency UN group that has also been set up to support you, and we'll hear more about that in a few days' time. I think there's an event. When is that event? On the 12th, there is an event which will talk about the broader presidency initiatives and the UN support mechanism that's there to yes, please.
Thank you very much, Kawa. Once again, I would like to thank everybody attending this event, and we were very much inspired by the audience. First of all, the number of participants being at this room. This is our first action agenda initiative we are launching, and seeing a lot of interest will be really an encouragement for us to continue our active work to advocate the interests of different segments of society, including the farmers we have talked about, but we'll have some more side events during the bond session. We'll be happy to see you there as well. And would like to use this opportunity to express our sincere gratitude to the FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization, and personally to Kaveh himself for his personal dedication and support to Azerbaijan to bringing up this initiative forward. And we'll be looking forward to engage with all of you in using every occasion and platform. Our team will be here until the end of next week, and we'll be pleased to engage with you individually or collectively using any occasion and possibilities. Thank you very much.
Thank you.